Hi, I'm Tommy Merritt. I'm from Kilgore, Texas. I grew up in Kilgore, worked for my father, could weld when I was 12. I'm a small businessman. I've employed a number of people, served in the Texas legislature, served on the Sabine River Authority. So I believe I'm the best qualified person to be the next ag commissioner because I have water development experience, I have a vast business experience, and I have legislative experience.
Are there any areas within the Department of Agriculture that you feel are unnecessary or bloated and need to be cut or eliminated?
You know, I've looked at the department, I've met with some department heads. I think that Todd Staples has done a good job managing that. He's returned over $50 million to the taxpayers. I believe that the state of Texas should look at the agency overall, and I think there could be some consolidations of some services that other areas are serving and improve and cut costs.
Any areas that specifically you want to consolidate?
You know, I'm from East Texas, the Texas A&M Forestry Service. I think it should be the Texas Department of Agriculture Forestry Service, and I think that we should be promoting the rural fire departments and rural fire trucks and make sure that they're adequately served with these volunteer fire department equipment. So I'd look at the Forestry Service. I think it's very critical to the state of Texas and to the timber and grass fire industry versus having it under A&M.
One of your biggest budget items for the Agriculture Department is the free and reduced meal program. This year the Texas legislature expanded it. Will this make your job more difficult with more and more children on the rolls?
No, I think that the agency has a complete department that's well staffed, and I think they're gearing up to operate under that scenario. The federal government gives the grants. What we don't want to do is take any more new grants that would have any strings attached. This was a program that was started by the feds administer it, and basically the law tells the Department of Agriculture how to administer it. We just have to comply with the law.
One of the concerns is the nutritional value of the meals. Are there any ways that we can improve the nutritional value of these meals for our kids?
No, I don't believe there's any way to do that. Susan Combs tried to do that, and the federal government stepped in and said that they're the ones to check the nutrition, and that's more of their line. I don't believe that we need to take on a fight with being undergunned and not being able to tell the federal government how to prepare the meal.
The Agriculture Commissioner will understandably have to work with the Texas legislature, and there's been a lot of criticism of the House specifically, that House leadership's not conservative enough, that it's too fiscally liberal. Do you agree with this concern, since you'll have to work with the Texas House? Do you think House leadership needs a change?
You know, I served in the House. I believe that the Texas House is the best House in the nation. I believe that the federal government ought to start working, that the national legislature ought to work like the Texas legislature, and that's work for the best interest of the nation and the state. I think working across party lines on issues like agriculture is very important, that we shouldn't become a partisan state like other states, that we have rural Texas and we have suburban and urban, and we have to work together. So the leadership in the House is all selected based on your qualifications. It's based on your ability to work with others in the legislature, and I think that from my position, the most important thing is that we do exactly what George Bush said. Let's work for the benefit of Texas, and let's don't turn Washington into let's don't turn Texas into a Washington.
It's estimated that there are over 2.6 million wild hogs, feral hogs in Texas, and the population is continuing to grow. Do you have any proposals to help farmers, agriculture eradicate this problem?
Well, I'm a very happy feral hog eradicator. I enjoy doing that. I think that's an income producing for farmers and ranchers if they have the feral hogs. To promote that as income. I think the trapping of feral hogs is a partial new business. To sell that feral hog meat as medallions of wild boar to Europe. I think we just have to set that program up. I also, as I understand it, the Farm Bill has $20 million in it for feral hog eradication, and we'll see how that works out. That's what I've been told, and as Ag Commissioner, I want to promote the eradication of feral hogs.
Water is a big issue for agriculture, and Prop 6 was passed last fall, which takes $2 billion from the rainy day fund for water projects, yet only 10% will be dedicated to rural use. As Agriculture Commissioner, what can you do to find more funds or find more resources for rural water?
Well, first of all, I'm the only candidate in the race that has water experience. I served on the Sabine River Authority for 6 years. I was appointed by the first Republican governor in 100 years, and we developed water for the city of Kilgore, the city of Longview, and I believe that as Ag Commissioner that the Water District and the river authorities and the Water Development Board and the legislature has to work together. I think that the Ag Commissioner has to promote the perils of rural Texas. The way you're going to develop water is that a community or a county has to have a way to pay back the money, and there's not a better time with a low interest rate for communities to put their time on the line. Wichita Falls has a population of 100,000 people. They're in a 5-year emergency. They may have to rail water or truck water. I think that those cities like that are going to have to move the ball forward. As Ag Commissioner, I want to work with those communities, listen to those communities, and present their case to the legislature to make sure that those development projects are indeed shovel ready. And I believe that shovel ready is a key word in water development, and we have to make sure that those communities have the needed resources to pay that bond money back. And that's the key. The communities have to tell their landowners and property owners that they're going to have to step up and pay a higher water rate, a higher transfer rate or something to be able to get that infrastructure in their community.
As the Ag Commissioner, you're going to manage a few grant and loan programs for new farmers, etc. Should the state of Texas be in this financial services business, or should we promote the free market instead?
Well, I think that the state of Texas is already in the financial services business. I believe that we have incentives to attract companies to come to Texas. Communities, big communities, offer incentives, sales tax exemptions, they offer abatement exemptions. Small communities don't have that ability, and I believe that the Ag Commissioner needs to promote rural communities and having the availability of the funds to do that. And the Ag Commissioner doesn't loan money. All the loans are done through the local banks. They set up the loan. The Ag Commissioner service would be that they would guarantee the loan, but it always has collateral through the bank.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us today. How
Thank you.
People find out more about your campaign?
Thank you. Well, it's TommyMerritt.com, and we have Twitter and we have Facebook. And by the way, I'm endorsed by the Department of Public Safety, Sheriff's Association, the Firefighter Association, and 8-time world champion Donnie Gay, the great bull rider from Mesquite. So vote for Tommy Merritt. Good luck, and we'll see you March the 4th. Vote for Tommy Merritt. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.